Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to cilinixfxcapital. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're having a great start of the week so far, and welcome to this new video here on Bitcoin. We're going to do a full update. The last 2 hours or so have been quite interesting, and we'll talk about that. But in general, we'll focus on the entire structure here, technically, for Bitcoin, the different possibilities. And then, of course, which possibility I think is most likely. I mean, if you watch my middle of the day market update yesterday, what I said is that I slightly leaned towards expecting a bullish continuation. So that would be a break above the value area high right here at 86,000, and then a move into these previous highs, probably around 88,000, with the potential of moving into 90,000. But I think, I mean, in general, we do have to be critical and say, all right, well, if we want to get into 90,000, and I'll make the lights a little bit brighter, we might need some sort of an outside catalyst to actually bring us there. All right. Every time that Bitcoin has been very, very strong in the last year or so, we usually had some sort of a catalyst. Not always, but some sort of usually. So what could function as that is a very strong stock market recovery. And so far, so good, I'd say. Yesterday, the stock market remained relatively strong. We've been able to hold this reclaim right here. And then outside of that, what we see as well is that the volatility index has continued to decrease. And even though bond yields, which basically signal kind of the stability of the United States, which, I mean, especially given the last 2 months, also matters for Bitcoin indirectly, but it still matters. Therefore, this is good to see. And the bond yields, like I said, were up slightly overnight, but they have come down again. So in general, the current situation fundamentally seems to be a situation of a little bit more restoration of peace in that sense, and some more recovery. So that is a good thing. And then what I meant with that, we saw some interesting developments over the course of the last 2 hours, is that for a long time yesterday, we actually had a Coinbase Bitcoin premium, right? So that means that bidding is coming in for Bitcoin on Coinbase, which is usually a sign that the market is strong. That disappeared overnight during the Asian session, but now in the European session, which is quite weird and also maybe a bit worrying, we actually regained that Coinbase Bitcoin premium. So that's pretty good. That means that there's some sort of an independent bid coming into crypto, and that's another reason. Look, I mean, in the end, technically, the price right now is still at a pretty interesting, dare I say, difficult point in terms of price, because you can again see that we have a lot of leverage coming in, and the volume is not necessarily what I would call high. I mean, the volume is actually $29.4 billion. It's down since yesterday, so I'm still slightly cautious with these moves, especially as we're still below the value area high right here at 86,000. But it still does seem most likely, talking about the two scenarios, it seems more likely to me that we will be able to break above that 86,000 level. Maybe not now. I mean, maybe we need to reset back into that point of control area between 84,200 and 83,000. But I do think ultimately it is still most likely that we will be able to break above that and at least retest those weak highs we made right here at 88,500. And then, you know, like I said, depending on outside factors, we can either get into those low 90s, which for me, unfortunately, is still an area where I would like to short. But that is a possibility for now, and that's obviously bullish if we get there in general. But no, this seems most likely. The other scenario would be, and that is also a possibility, but it seems to me that we would need some sort of bad news for that, right? So some sort of an escalation of the trade war, whatever, could be a lot. Then we could also still break down below the POC and start to fill those imbalances here to the downsides at 81,500 and ultimately 80,000. So is this still possible? Yes, but it's not most likely, I'd say. I'd say it's more likely we'll do something like this. But I'll keep you updated on that, of course, throughout the day, on X, on my YouTube page, of course. But for now, that's it. So thank you for watching. Take care and bye.